What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How y'all doing out there in fish tank land? Today, I'm just chilling out, enjoying my Sunday. Obviously, doing my water changes. Place is a mess. Got stuff everywhere. I want to go ahead and check out the chat, but I'm just kind of mellowing out. I've been working really hard on some computer stuff. Got a second job going on. Daryl Dimmer, how are you? Damien, what's up? Yeah, I took on a second job the last couple of weeks. 54 Punchy. Pamela, how are you? Good to see you in the chat. I took up a second job, an evening job, just a friend. Plus, I'm trying to create the funds that I need to get to New Jersey and buy a new computer. I have a friend that built me a computer. I haven't paid for it yet, but everything's good. I got the money for him. I'm going to pay him at the end of the week here. But I just had a friend build me like a supercomputer. He does like cryptocurrency, and I had shown you guys last week. I did a preemptive, like I did a little live stream out of nowhere, a surprise thing, and I showed a PC. That was just a temporary tester thing. That wasn't the actual machine. I have a beast down here. I don't want to pull my camera off the tripod to show it to you, and I can't pick it up because it's a monster. I have a huge monster computer. And I still can't stream with OBS and Streamlabs OBS, so I'm doing the Google Hangouts here. I am on my A6500, my Sony A6500, so it should be a little bit cleaner if it would focus on me. I've got it on autofocus. If I put my hands up, it focuses on my face. It's great. But as soon as I drop my hands down, I'm like, my face goes out of focus. It focuses on the fish tanks behind me. I don't know what's up with that. Good stuff, good stuff. But I'm slowly getting there. I've been working with some people. I've also been picking Corey's brain on how he gets his streams looking so good. And it looks like my issue is really just my internet service provider is part of it. It gives me 8 megabytes upload, but there's something going on still, something in the balance between my settings and stuff like that. So I can't wait to use OBS. I've spent over $2,500 between a new computer, all kinds of all kinds of hardware. I've got my A6500. I got my Cam Link. I put so much money into this, and I still can't live stream with OBS. Anyways, not to complain, not to go on about that. I'm just so happy that I can stream either way, no matter what. It's really nice to come in here and chill with you guys. Valleyfish, good to see you. D from down the wormhole, how are you? I missed your stream today, D. I'm sorry. I was working on my tanks and I didn't have a chance. I didn't even have the computer up yet. Aquascaping 101, what's up, man? How are you? Hawaiian Peacock, what's up, man? DPK, you're in the house. What's up? And Gerald Wallace, what's up? I got a lot of changes going on in my fish room and with the studio. Obviously, with the computer, I got some new lighting coming in that's going to help me. I'm really right now. This lighting is these are shop lights with white plastic bags covering them up to just kind of diffuse the light a little bit. I'm going like total DIY here with my lighting right now. So I look forward to getting a little bit better lighting. And then I'm also been picking some brains, some people here, trying to get some good advice on what the best internet service provider I can get at this point. Because if I feel like if I just kicked up my internet bandwidth a little bit more, I think that I would lose the buffer and the lag when I'm trying to use an encoder like OBS or Streamlabs OBS. I really just want to be using Streamlabs. You know, so many friends of mine that are streaming with Streamlabs and their streams look great. And I'm just so jealous, so jealous. But big changes going on here in my studio space. I did a major deep clean of my fish room with a little bit of energy that I have from working 2 jobs. I've definitely been slacking on videos. I know that. I beat myself up every day about it. And some of my viewers beat me up about it too. And I've lost a few subscribers. I don't know, but I've definitely lost a few subscribers. I'm sure it's just because people are missing the hashtag FishFamNews, which I am still working on. I'm just trying to revamp it. I want to make it a lot better. I'm just a perfectionist, and have not been happy with the hashtag FishFamNews. I feel like I just kept doing the same thing. And for me, it's a little bit of art, and I want it to be, I need to enjoy it too. And when it becomes monotonous, and also when the views start to drop on something, it kind of makes me wonder, wait, I'm putting a lot of energy into it, and it just looks the same every week, and not as many people are watching it, and I just had to pull back for a minute, and I just want to revamp it. I want to make it something that I enjoy doing and that more people are going to enjoy watching, more than 350 people. It's good to see all you guys in here. Science Gal Aquatics, what's up? Knackered Aquarius, so awesome to see you in here. Appreciate you popping in. So in the fish room, major changes. You know, I got some Jesse from HC Aqua. How are you? I keep getting distracted by the stream, checking out all the good people coming in. But crazy awesome things going on in my fish room. I have 4 more aquariums. I'm in the process of building a rack. I bought some batteries for my drill and my impact driver. The batteries got wet from the hurricane, and they finally just like died on me. There's some got wet somehow, and they died on me. So I ordered new batteries, and then they got lost in the mail, and that's through Amazon. So they're covering it, but I'm about to build a new rack from scratch. I'll try to put that all on video for you guys as well. So I have 4 more aquariums going up in my kitchen. I totally gutted and deep cleaned everything in my kitchen, my little fish room lab space. I took a look at it and realized I was kind of like really wasting space, wanting more tanks, wanting more racks, and realizing like I had so much space just there is like just wasted space, is like a fish lab. Like I'm not, it's not like I needed to waste that space that way. So I broke a bunch of things down, threw a bunch of stuff away. I made a lot of new space for myself. I have a RODI system. I got a video coming out on that. I got an RODI system set up, and I have about an 8 or 9 stage water filtration system that I put together that's not completely mounted up on the walls yet. It's like on the floor, so I really don't want to show it off. I want to get it all mounted up so it looks really nice and clean, so I can kind of show you the process and all the filters that it goes through. But it's about, at this point, it's an 8 stage. I'm trying to make it a 9 stage water filtration system that creates both 11 parts per million water and then 0 parts per million water. So I'm actually creating 2 different kinds of water out of it, depending on where you pull the water from in the system. And that's really cool. I'm really stoked about that because my tanks are starting to get really clean water, which I really need, especially with with these fish that I brought back from Peru. They really need clean water. The TDS in the wild there in Peru is like 12, 15 parts per million. So you really can't. The tap water is not going to help them breed at all. But I'm just really stoked with everything I'm doing in my fish room. Like I said, I created a lot of new space. I threw a lot of goofy stuff out. Things that I just don't need. I just had to take a look, like, have I touched this in a year? Have I used it? I threw out tanks that have leaks in them that I just been holding, thinking, oh, I'm going to reseal this tank, make a video out of it. It's just like, I didn't do it for a year. I just put the tanks in the garbage and just move on, you know? So just crazy stuff. It feels good, though. I shut a lot of stuff off and made a lot of new space. I do have something cool coming up. I have a teacher that is looking for an aquarium, and I was so happy about this because I've wanted to do this for so long. I've wanted to be able to give back to the youth, give back to kids with this hobby because I just think it's such a beautiful part about this hobby. Most everybody here in this stream, we're all adults. We're all grown adults. Daryl Dimmer, what's up? Thank you so much for that super chat, man. That means so much. But so many of us here in this chat, we're all adults in this hobby. That's one thing. But there's so much, such a big portion of this hobby that are young people, that are young kids that are just getting into it. And to me, I think it's such a big thing, especially with these new generations, to see young people engaging in this hobby because there's so many computer games and these phones everywhere, and there's such a distraction from the natural world, from nature, and from having some kind of a down-to-earth experience on this planet anymore. And it's kind of scary, but I think that the fish keeping hobby is one way that we can help try to keep the youth kind of, anchored to our planet a little bit. and down to earth, and understanding and respecting nature itself and how important it is for us to protect nature and things like that. So I am so happy to have this opportunity to donate a fish tank to a classroom. It's big deal for me because I've been waiting for it, and it's such a small island. And after the hurricanes, I couldn't give a tank away to anybody because half the classrooms were destroyed. The teachers are just trying to. The school had to be rebuilt. The school is not rebuilt yet. Our public school, they had to take and bring in trailers, and they had to completely. There's no baseball field anymore. They had to pour footings and bring in about 30 trailers, and the school is now. It started late this year. It just starting this week actually. They had to create. Actually, it starts next week. They had to create all these trailers to replace the school so the school can be rebuilt because the roof got ripped off of the public school. So all of the students are going to be being taught in a trailer, school rooms in trailers. So nobody would take a tank from me because there's just like everybody's just trying to rebuild. And it's just so nice that I had a teacher come to me and wanted a fish tank. So I'm going to go ahead and donate her a 29-gallon tank that actually somebody had given to me, and I don't really want it. It's a 29-gallon like Marineland plastic. It's a like my bow face behind me. It's a 29-gallon bow face tank, but it's a plastic tank. Like I think it's Marineland or Aqua Clear, something like that. I'm not sure. Aquion, something like that. And so he's given it to me. He hasn't even actually given it to me yet, but he's moving and he's offered it to me. There's a couple of fish in there. I'm not even sure what's in there. Like 2 or 3 fish. And I'm going to go ahead and just give that tank to this teacher, and it's going to be so awesome. Like I really don't want a plastic 29-gallon tank, and I really don't want it anyways. It's in good condition though. It's not all scratched up or anything. So I'm going to donate her the tank to the classroom, and I'm going to hook her up with live plants so she doesn't have a tank full of plastic stuff. She's a really cool teacher. She wants to teach them about the nitrogen cycle and all that cool stuff. So I'm going to donate to her everything that she needs, really, from hardscape. I've got all awesome driftwood pieces that I've collected and Malaysian stuff that has come into me, and live plants, and I have an endler breeding program, so I have like hundreds of endlers, so I could pass her off endlers if she wants them. She's also talking about doing something with a vivarium, so I might end up giving her another tank. I just like to see this stuff being used in such a positive way. I really like, I can enjoy my hobby and do what I want in the privacy of my own home, and that's one thing, but to be able to see young people learning something out and getting something positive out of it, that means so much more than me just having another tank in my house. It's just a really cool thing. So I'm really excited for that. She comes back next week from a trip, and I plan on hooking her up with that tank, and I'll try to film what I can from other people that have tried to do the like Bob Steamfought was doing the tanks for teachers. And he had a hard time with it because you can't really film any of that stuff because this is commercial video cinematography at this point. Once I have ads on my stuff, all these kids need to have press releases signed by their parents because they're all underage. So I can't like go in with the kids in the classroom and film. I can get away with a lot more here because in the Virgin Islands, everything's just like nobody cares about anything here. Laws just don't apply here. They do, but they don't. Like nobody really cares. So I can totally get away with a lot more. So I'm definitely gonna film what I can. I want to set the tank up. I definitely want to, if I can, even come into the classroom with the kids and work with the teacher and kind of help, explain to them the nitrogen cycle like on a chalkboard. And I don't know. It'd be fun stuff. Like it almost gets me like emotional because it's such a beautiful part of the hobby. Like that's so many people, like I said, we're all adults in here. We all have experience, but where did we start? We all started when we were kids. Most of us, we had tanks. We had our first tank when we were little kids, and the bug started there, inside of us, and it all stemmed from that. And it'd be awesome to create some, get some kids hooked on it, and just give them a taste of, give them some reality, give them some nature in their life, because Everybody's just so stuck in their phones and playing video games and stuff. And if I can inspire just a couple of kids to, just have a little bit more of it, be a little bit more in touch with nature. And I'm sure that's what the teacher wants too by having this in the classroom. So I don't know. I could go on about that for hours. I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to donate a fish tank to a classroom and see it come. To me, it's going to get a lot more good. A lot more good will come out of that tank by being in the classroom than it will in my house with me trying to find a place to put it, for one. And I would be frowning at the tank the whole time anyways, because I'm such a nerd with this stuff, and it's just a plastic tank. I'd be like, plastic tank. But, I'm going to take every tank anybody is going to give me. I'm going to take it. A plastic tank with that much volume. Yeah, it's a 29-gallon bow face. I think it's made by Aquion or Marineland. It's definitely plastic. I've seen the tank, in person. It's a plastic molded tank, and it's a bow face, kind of like my 29 behind me. It may be 20 gallons. It looked bigger than 20 gallons. It's 25 at least. But it is a bow face tank, and it's plastic. Like I said, I think it's Marineland. I think that's what I saw on the filter housing on the back, hang on the back filter. But that'll be awesome. That'll be so much fun. And like I said, I spent an hour chatting with Corey this morning, trying to figure out my all the fine tuning my live stream, I'm making the camera move. Anyways, I've been working with him this morning, trying to figure out all of the settings on my Streamlab and stuff like that. He truly believes that I have enough bandwidth when it comes to my internet. I should not have a problem streaming with 8 megabytes upload. So something else is up. He thinks it's just settings. I need to balance out the settings. So I'm going to keep playing today. I didn't want to mess with it and ruin a stream and start with Streamlabs and have it be all choppy and buffering. So I went ahead and just went with Google Hangouts today. But this afternoon, I'm going to do some testing. Joel's Aquarium, what's up? It's good to see you in here, man. I'm going to do some testing today. Do a little testing with my Streamlabs OBS again and play with the settings some more and see what I get out of it. And hopefully next week I'll have this figured out and I'll be able to stream with OBS. I just like all the other functions, and I get to, I get some stuff on the screen. I can have some overlays, play with some graphics. It just seems more fun. I mean, this works. This works, especially if I can use my A6500. But just good stuff happening. That's about what I have. What I have to report today is just I got total revamp of my fish room. About to build a new rack, and everybody's happy. The only thing that I'm really bummed about, like, I've been working 2 jobs, so I haven't been able to make as many videos as I like to. And I've been working on my series about medication, which is basic stuff. Most of us in the hobby, we already know these things. These videos have really just been for young people and for for new people in the hobby that are on YouTube looking up information about medications. My newest video that's coming out tomorrow is on EM erythromycin, which is one of my favorite medications that I like to use when I'm quarantining or when I'm trying to treat different kinds of bacteria and stuff on the outside of the fish. So I do definitely use this a lot. This is not a cheap bottle of medication at $134 a bottle. But if you want to use the right stuff, you got to pay for it. You know what I mean? You can buy it in smaller portions. If you just have a couple aquariums and you're trying to treat, that's one thing. But I have 16 tanks or 16 bodies of water, 16 systems going right now, and I just bought it in bulk. It's lasted me a year now, and it's half full, so that's not bad. But it's nice to know that I have it when I want it. A lot of these medications, I do like to keep them refrigerated in a not really cold, but I like to keep them in a refrigerator along with my fish foods, just to keep them in good condition, because it's pretty warm here in the Virgin Islands in the Caribbean. So I do have to deal with the temperatures. I don't like to keep my fish food out at room temperature or my medications. because it's a lot warmer than you guys up there in the States. Any questions from anybody? Like I said, I'm just kind of taking it easy this weekend, working 2 jobs, and I literally put my feet in a little foot bath. I've got this little I got it as a present last year, and I don't really use it that much, but I've been working so hard. My feet have hurt so bad from just being in construction, work boots for like 13 hours a day. I got this foot bath that you plug in. It's got a little bubbler, a little heating element, and I've been adding Epsom salt, which I have in my fish room for medicating my fish, and then I've been also adding sodium chloride, which is marine salt. I've been adding marine salt to this little foot bath. So I've been soaking my feet in magnesium sulfate and sodium chloride. Oh my Lord. With a little bit of like essential oils. Whew. It's crazy though, because like after the foot bath, like even the next morning when I wake up, my feet feel like great. Like I have some, my feet can be pain. It can really hurt from days and days, weeks of construction, hard construction. They can ache a little bit, but it's crazy because all of a sudden my feet didn't hurt at all. And I just like the rest of my body ached compared to that. And I was like, I just wish I had like a hot tub full of magnesium sulfate and sodium chloride. I can just soak in it, because the contrast after they stopped hurting the rest of my body, you could feel all the other aches and pains of the construction life. Gary's Aquatics, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you in here. Raccoon Creek Aquatics, what's up? Joel who? Joel who's up in here? Is Joel in here? Oh, Joel's Aquariums. I was thinking Joel Corvus Oskin, because I didn't see him. Is it I see the question from Raccoon's Creek. Is it illegal? Is it legal or illegal to catch saltwater fish for the aquarium hobby in the Virgin Islands? The island that I live on is 2/3 national park, and about 80% of the water around the island is a coral reef national monument that was created by Obama. So at this point, about 90% of this island is protected as a coral reef national monument or national park. It's federally protected by about 5 different agencies. So the majority of the water out there in the reefs are protected, and it is a federal offense to remove even a rock or a shell from the beach. Technically, even a piece of driftwood could technically be a federal offense and ticketed. So I have to be really careful what I do. Now, I don't keep saltwater aquariums because we do have a lot of power outages here, especially after Hurricane Irma last year. The power goes out on a regular basis. At least once a month, we have a temporary power outage while they're still working on the grid from the hurricanes. It was like that even before the hurricanes, honestly. So I don't keep saltwater aquariums because 1 or 2, 3 hours without power could be detrimental to the sump and to the positive bacteria within a saltwater aquarium. You could have a total meltdown in 3 or 4 hours. And technically, too, it's pretty warm here. And in order to make a saltwater aquarium work for me, I would have to actually probably have a chiller. I do chill. All my tanks are kind of chilled anyways. I have to run my air conditioning 24 hours a day to keep the temperature down to where I like it in my aquariums. So basically, it's the opposite of you guys, where most people in the States, you guys either heat your aquariums or you heat the whole room of your fish room to maintain a warmer temperature. I have to do the opposite. I have to air condition my whole room to cool down the temperature of my tanks. So I have the opposite issue here than you guys. But honestly, obviously, it would be insane to individually chill my tanks, just like a lot of you out there might individually heat your aquariums. It would be insane and pretty much impossible for me to individually chill all my aquariums. So I keep most of my aquariums, my show tanks, and most of my aquariums in my living room, and I keep this room at a reasonable temperature. My tanks stay at about 76 degrees. Because of that, if I didn't have constant air conditioning in my apartment, in my house here, I'd be looking at water temperatures in my aquarium over 80 degrees. It'd be fine for my angelfish, but not for a lot of my other fish and my tetras and stuff that come from cold temperatures, from colder climates, and stuff like that. So yeah, I have the opposite issue. We do have a problem here. Mob Guppy mentioned, asked me about a lionfish. We have, it's an epidemic. You know, it's a major problem. The lionfish were brought here on accident through big vessels that have ballasts full of water in them. Well, the lionfish, you know, get in those ballasts, and then when they release the water from those ballasts, when they're in this region, it releases those lionfish into our waters. They're kind of like cockroaches, but very aggressive. They eat anything and everything, and they reproduce like cockroaches. So they've been very detrimental to the aquatic life, the marine life here in the Virgin Islands, and especially places like St. Croix, where they don't have people trying to fight them off. They're everywhere. You can literally walk up to the water and the rocks and look down into the water and see lionfish. And like just they're everywhere, but they're destroying a lot of other populations of fish in the process. We have lots of people here that they're like, we call them lionfish hunters or lionfish slayers. And there's little clubs and groups of people that will get together on the weekends, and they have different gear and equipment and, you know, spear guns and stuff like that. And they go out and they hunt lionfish and try to see who can kill as many who can kill the most lionfish that day. And it's kind of like I said, there's little clubs and nonprofit organizations and groups that are doing that. So it helps a little bit, but they're so aggressive. It's really unfortunate. I don't think that what we can do as humans can really actually make a big difference with the lionfish, because they have it's kind of like a never-ending battle with those guys. It's pretty rough, and it's, you know, I see it firsthand every day. And when you go, you know, snorkeling or scuba diving or anything like that, you definitely see them out there. Definitely a bummer. Waterbox, what's up, man? It's good to see you in here. I'm just playing around a little bit today. I don't want to not stream, but I've been very frustrated working with OBS, and I just got like a super computer, like a bomb computer. It is awesome. It was not cheap. I'm still paying it off, but it's a beast over here on the floor. It's the largest computer in size that I've ever had in my life, and the fastest machine that I've ever had. It's going to be great for editing, but the whole point was just trying to get my streams up to where I want them. I want to be streaming in 1080p at 60 frames. And it looks like at this point, I'm only using like 3% CPU to stream. So it is not the computer. I'm still buffering when I try to use Streamlabs OBS. So it looks like it's something in the settings, even though I played with all the settings. Corey from Aquarium Co-op, he really thinks it's still just in the settings. So I'm going to keep testing some more today. But I really think that it has something to do with the poor internet service providers here. Even though I have 8 megabytes upload, I think that there is something going on with my internet service provider. I don't know. I do have 8 megabytes upload, and everybody, including Corey, has told me that 8 megabytes up should be fine. I think YouTube asks for 5 to 6 megabytes up to stream, even at 1080p 60 frames. They say that's all you need. What's up? Awesome people showing up in the chat. Priscilla MK, how are you? Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, what's up, man? How are you? It's good to see you up in here. Just messing around a little bit today. I'm happy to have my Sony a6500 rolling through Elgato Cam Link as my webcam now. So I'm actually, I got basically a high definition 4K web camera at this point right now. Just want to make the Streamlabs work, so we'll get there. Waterbox, maybe I'll get a hold of you. Maybe we could do some tests. Maybe you have some, there's some settings you might know of that I can change. Just a question, Waterbox, what do you use? Are you using Streamlabs OBS, or are you using XSplit? I'm just trying to figure this out. I don't know if maybe even going for something that costs money like XSplit, maybe I can have a better chance of making things work. But it's good to see you, Priscilla. Good to see you here in the chat. Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, it's nice to see you here as well. You guys have showed up late. I've just been doing some major big changes in my fish room. I threw away a lot of stuff. I did a major deep clean, ripped down a bunch of different things in my little fish lab space, making room for a new rack, making room for my new RODI system, which is set up and actually making water as we speak. But all the filtration sitting on the floor right now still. I don't really want to show it off yet. I'm trying to get it all mounted up in my fish in a certain. I have a refrigeration unit with a glass door on it, and I have all this really awesome blue LED lighting, and I want to just make it like look like a supercomputer in there, but with filtration. I have about 9 stages of filtration that I'm going to mount up in the walls and the inside of this refrigeration unit, and you'll be able to see the whole thing through a glass door. It's just going to be like my souped up water filtration system. And I'm going to be creating 2 different kinds of water, something with like about 12 to 15 parts per million. And then that'll be good for most of my aquariums. And then I can also run it through a secondary water filtration, which is my RODI with my RO membrane. And I can create pure, just 0 parts per million water from that section. So I'll be making 2 different kinds of water. That's a big thing that's coming up in my fish room. I am working on purchasing a linear air pump, and that's going to be like taking everything to where I really want to be. I'll have my RODI system. I'll have a linear air pump with feeding air to all of my aquariums throughout the house. I'm going to run the PVC line across the ceiling from the kitchen, so I'll have air in the kitchen. I'll have air out here in the living room. That's just like, that was going to top me off. Basically, the linear air pump will be the icing on the cake, and can't really ask for much more except for making Streamlabs OBS work for me, and then I'm just like happy. I'm a happy camper at that point. For sure. Nomadic RV, what's up? It's good to see you in here. My Zoom is acting up. My autofocus is being funny on me. I need to play with that. I probably just need to just focus and set the focus manually and not use autofocus. I think that'll be my next step with using. This is like the first time that I've actually really been able to use my A6500 as my webcam. So it's on autofocus right now, and I'm not gonna go back there and play with that right now. But I totally just set that on manual, and it will stay focused on my face, because all I gotta do, if I put my hand up, then it focuses on my face. If I put my hand down, it focuses on the tanks behind me. So it's all good. It's still much better than my webcam before, so I'm not gonna complain too much. Not today. I'm grateful and blessed, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm happy to have some new tanks in the fish room, and then and just getting the studio space all set up. You know, I'm having just, the key is just streamlining everything. I'm throwing a bunch of stuff out and just, you know, looking at things. I think we all need to do that in life. You know, you can look at something in your house and be like, have I touched this? Have I used this in a year? Like, do I really need this? Like, I haven't used it in a year. Like, it's time for it to go. So I'm not like a minimalist, but I'm obviously not with the fish keeping hobby. It's kind of hard to be a minimalist, because you just end up with all kinds of stuff that you've collected. but it definitely is something I have to do once a year, is go through all my stuff and decide, is this worth keeping? Is this garbage? Should I just let this go? And I did a big deal last weekend and just moved so much stuff out. And it's just a weight off my shoulders. I feel so much better to have a lot of these things gone. And like I said, it's room for more tanks now. It's definitely room for another rack. If I could just once my new batteries from my drill and my all my battery powered tools that I have, once these new batteries get in the mail, because all my batteries are shot, I have my tools back in working order, and I'm gonna go ahead and build myself a new rack. And I can also work on a list of household projects that I have, fixing some doors and fixing some things around here that have been, the list is piled up because my drills aren't working. I like to get all that stuff done. And yeah, just a linear air pump at this point. So a little bit better lighting and making Streamlabs work. Those three things are like some of the most important things in my YouTube world and in my fish keeping hobby. Those three things I just want to get checked off the list. Get Streamlabs OBS working for me. Buy some nice LED lighting so I don't have to use shop lights with white grocery bags as diffusers, and a linear air pump to feed air to all of my aquariums. Do I have any ideas for a 2.5 gallon tank that you have empty? I have a 2.5, and I was actually going to just donate that to this teacher, probably because she wants to do something with frogs. And I thought maybe she wanted to do something like a little tank that she could use to raise up the tadpoles to start with. So I was going to give it to her so that she could use it as a grow out tank for tadpoles. I don't know if that's going to work. 2.5 is really small to me, but I think that you could, if you have some kind of decent filtration that you can use on that, I would use it for shrimp. I would use it for Caridina shrimp. I wouldn't go with Neocaridina shrimp because a water change would just a water change alone is gonna fluctuate the parameters in that tank maybe more than a Caridina shrimp would like to have happen to itself. So I would go with like a Neocaridina shrimp, which are pretty hardy and pretty tough. It's either that, or I would take a 2.5 gallon tank and maybe pull aside a trio of my Endlers, my Endler live bears, and maybe put a trio into a 2.5 just to get them to breed. That's what I've used 2.5 gallons for before in the past. Or actually, I have a little 5 gallon. Is it 5? Yeah, it's a 5 gallon aquarium that I keep in my kitchen, like lab space, and I keep it as a quarantine tank. I keep it cycled with plants and stuff going on there. There's some seed shrimp living in there, feeding on the detritus and stuff. But I keep that tank cycled and on the side. And if I ever have to quarantine a fish and isolate a fish, I'll isolate that fish as long as it's within a certain amount of a certain size. You know, you don't want to put a large fish in a 2.5. It's just going to jump out or get stressed out in that small space. But I like to use a little 2.5 as a quarantine tank. And the best part about using a small tank like that for quarantine is what? Is less medication. You know, you look at this bottle of erythromycin at $134 a bottle. If you need to treat a fish and you're just treating one fish, it's better to put that fish in a 2.5 gallon aquarium and use a fraction of the medication every time you need to dose to treat that fish, rather than if you had one fish that you're treating and you got to put it, and you have nothing smaller than a 10 or a 20 gallon aquarium. Now you're using a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of erythromycin to treat that fish when you could have just used an eighth of a teaspoon to dose that fish every 5 or 6 days, like I like to do. I don't dose every day or every other day unless the fish is really, really sick. I'll do like 6 days and then redose. So technically you could use you can use a lot less medication to treat one little guppy at a 2.5 when you're medicating a fish. So that's what I would recommend to do with a 2.5 gallon aquarium. Save it as your quarantine tank when you're just trying to medicate one or two fish, and you save a lot of money on medication. Research lab for me, saltwater. Majority of my saltwater experience was with my father. My father is into saltwater aquariums. He has about 4 saltwater aquariums in his living room. So I grew up with saltwater aquariums, and I know about it through my father. But I personally, like I said before here in this stream, I don't mess with saltwater aquariums because I live in a place where the electricity tends to go out pretty often, and I am not wealthy enough to have some massive 10,000K generator on an automatic transfer switch. And if the power goes out for more than any time at all, as any of us know, even with fresh water, as soon as you turn off your hang on the back filter and the water stops flowing over that filtration, positive bacteria within that filtration system is going to start to die. A lot of those different beneficial bacteria need to have a constant flow of water over them. So when you're dealing with a saltwater aquarium and you have a sump, as soon as the water starts flowing through that sump, a lot of things start to die, and you can have a total breakdown, a total meltdown of a saltwater aquarium within 4 to 5 hours. Plus, saltwater aquariums need to stay chilled, just need to stay at a cooler temperature. And for me, living in the Caribbean and a warmer climate, I would have to have a chiller on my aquarium to keep it at the temperature that I'd like it to be at, or it would really just cook a lot of that coral and a lot of the sea anemones and things like that, and it just would not function properly. So I don't play with salt water. No, not here. If I lived in the States and I had a full-scale fish room, and I'd probably have one room that would just be salt, and I would heat or chill that whole room just for saltwater aquariums, and keep it separate from all my freshwater. I dream of having saltwater. I would love to have a saltwater aquarium, but I just, out of respect for the coral and for the animals, I'm saving that for when I have the right time and place to do that. I did see Priscilla asked me if I'm ready for the aquatic experience. I'm buying my plane tickets today. That's one of the reasons why I've taken up a second job, and I have not been making as many videos as I'd like to be making, is I've been working like 13 or 14 hours between 2 jobs. My day job as a construction worker, doing plumbing and things like that. And then I live in St. John, the U.S. Virgin Islands research lab. And I've also been working on a friend's house in the evenings as a second job. So I've been trying to make extra money so I don't have to stress about anything. Extra money so I can finish paying off this super computer that I just got, and buy my tickets. So today I am buying my plane tickets to the aquatic experience. And I don't know if Daryl Dimmer is still in here in the chat, but I look forward to rooming with Daryl Dimmer at the hotel there at the convention center at the Meadowlands there in New Jersey. So I definitely look forward to the aquatic experience. I'm super duper ready. It was an awesome experience last year. I had a ball, and it totally changed my perspective of my YouTube channel. And I definitely made a lot of good friends there last year. And I think I've mentioned it before, just the amount of young people that were there definitely impacted me and made me look at the hobby a lot differently as well. You know, like I just said before, we sit here in this chat, and most all of us here in this stream, a lot of you guys are my moderators, and a lot of you, we're all pretty much adults. We're grown adults. We have kids. We have families or something like that. And, you know, I kind of, sometimes you get lost and you think that this hobby is a bunch of adults, but there's a huge population of very young people in this hobby. And it made me realize how many young people, especially when little kids are coming up to me and, you know, 11, 12-year-olds are telling me that they watched my videos, like that hit me. Like it got me emotional. It was like, wow, like this is for real. And it put it into perspective, and it also made me realize like how important it is to keep my content clean and to keep my content family friendly, because I've got 11, 12-year-olds and 13-year-old kids that are watching my videos, and that and it also reminded me to keep this stuff for real, like to make sure that what you're sharing is that you know what you're talking about, and that you're not just blabbing off some stuff and pretending like you know what you're doing or what you're talking about. It definitely, put it into perspective too. Not that I felt like I was doing that before, but us here in this chat, that also other people here that create content, it's really important that if we're going to make a video about something, that we know what we're talking about, because you've got the next generation of fish keepers looking up to you and looking at your content as a source of information. And there's a responsibility there. There really is a responsibility there. For me, I take it serious, and I realize that, you just got to be, you got to know what you're talking about, or just don't talk about it. Like, talk about your tanks, talk about whatever, but I don't try to talk about things that I don't know about, or try to pretend like I know about something. I'm not going to steer people in the wrong direction. I'd rather not do that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking for the aquatic experience. Greg Jones, good to see you in here. I'm definitely going to spend some time over there at the My Aquarium Box booth. That will be awesome. I got so much filming and so many things I want to do, but I will definitely give you guys a break over there. If you need a break, I will definitely man the booth and take a little time with the people as they pass by. I have no problem with that. I definitely will definitely take over for a minute if you need me to, so you guys can go get something to eat, or just take a break and go back to the room and chill out or something like that, because I've been to a lot of different conventions, business conventions like this and stuff, and these are long hours, long days, and I know it can be a little draining. If most of you don't already know, Greg Jones is the founder of the My Aquarium Box, which is an awesome subscription box. I don't have one. I usually always do, but I don't have one of these boxes sitting around here right now anywhere where I can grab one. But I did a deep clean, so I threw a lot of those My Aquarium boxes out, but I had a stack of them. I just threw a bunch of them out, so that's why I can't grab one right now. But the My Aquarium Box is a subscription box that you can get monthly. They have a freshwater box. They have a saltwater box. They offer, they sell all different kinds of foods, as well as hardscapes that you can that are available. What is my code again? My code. I do have a an affiliate code with the My Aquarium Box, which is My Aquarium Box JH, right? MABJH. If you use that that code MABJH, that will give you 5% off your first My Aquarium Box. I like it. It's like getting a Christmas present every month, because you never know what's inside of it, and there's always something cool in there. I've never had a box that I did not like, and I'm not lying. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just trying to sell his product. The only reason I endorsed My Aquarium Box at all is because I love it, and I think that it is, it's a grassroots thing. It's they started out as it's Greg Jones and Mike from Mass Aquariums, and they work really hard to create this, to put together these boxes. It's I just think it's a really positive thing. It's a great idea, and I support things that I believe in, and or I don't support things at all, honestly. And I'm not out to just like go commercial and try to just sell products. I'm not like really into it so much for getting any kind of a kickback, as much as like I'd like to see the My Aquarium Box grow for Greg Jones. So it's just really cool stuff. There's always something awesome in those boxes. And like I said before, sometimes there's stuff in those boxes that I don't use. Like, I get Pleco caves, which they're awesome, but I don't have any Plecos. So I've been doing some giveaways. I've been giving away some Pleco caves to some of my viewers. I also sometimes I get food that I don't really different kinds of cichlid food and stuff that I can't utilize within my hobby, and I'll share them with other people. I'll pass them off to other friends of mine that have cichlids and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool too, because if there ever is something in the box that I can't personally utilize, I always find a place for it to go. I always, I can always give it away as a gift to someone else, which is nice to be able to do that. And it's awesome to get and try new foods too. There's always some kind of cool food or something in that box, and it kind of gives my fish a variety too, because I can like, hey, try this out, see if you guys like this. So they're getting a nice variety of foods without me, living on a small island and having to buy everything offline. My fish do get a variety of different things, and they get to taste, and I get to test different foods on them. So it's nice for that respect as well. Honeybee is asking me if I have any products. I've been working on a website. I do have jhaquatics.com. It is not live. Don't go there. It is not live yet, but I've been paying for this URL for 2 years. It should be live, but honestly, just trying to get a balance with things here in my home front so that I can take some more time for it, because I want to have the time available to do all of the shipping myself. As Greg Jones knows, it's a lot of work to do this kind of thing, to do any kind of mail order business. And I have had experience with that before, and I know that it requires a certain amount of my time. That's one reason why I haven't gone live with it yet. But my big thing is blackwater aquariums, is like dried botanicals. So I have been putting together a list of different dried botanicals that I have available: West Indian almond leaves, mango leaf, West Indian bay leaf, different tropical fruit trees, leaves, and dried botanicals from that. Different hardscape, such as some different stone, and also really awesome driftwood that I have, that I collect here in the islands. So that's really my products. Besides that, Honeybee, I do have I have my merch. I have my JH Aquatics t-shirt that is available on Teespring, and I do have the hashtag FishFam News shirt, which is available on Teespring as well. I will be, like most people have been asking me, what's up with the hashtag FishFam News? It is coming. I'm just revamping it. I have to make it something that I'm happy with doing. I want to feel like it's not just giving shout outs to YouTube channels. And that's not a bad thing, but I'd like to create something that is more valuable to the whole hobby. It's not just feeding information out to our small network, our small family, being the hashtag FishFam News. There's a lot more people out there, and I feel like I can. The hashtag FishFam News, or me creating a news segment, can be a lot more valuable to a lot more people if I just diversify it a little bit more and change it up a little bit. So I've been working really hard to create more of a news segment with a lot more segments, individual segments and parts to it, and just kind of thicken it up and make it nicer. Stoner Aquatics, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. That's a new subscriber for me. I just subscribed to his channel. He's got some nice videos going on over there. Let's see. Daryl Dimmer, what he said, I tried to talk to Mike from Mess Aquarium. AE was busy explaining my aquarium box. So maybe we'll see. Yeah, he was pretty busy. I tried to get an interview with him, but he's busy doing his thing. So I didn't actually get the hashtag FishFam News interview with him that I was trying to, as well as Greg Jones. There's a lot going on, and those guys are pretty busy. But if any of you are going to the Aquatic Experience this year in October in New Jersey, I will be there, and I will you be able to find me either at the Flip Aquatics booth, which will also be there'll be the YouTube booth right next to that. So you'll find me either at Flip Aquatics booth, you'll find me at the YouTube booth, or the YouTube table. And you'll find me over at the My Aquarium Box booth. One of those 3 places is probably where you'll find me, unless I'm out and about in the crowd somewhere doing interviews or filming some B-roll for myself. But those are the 3 booths that you'll probably find me at. I don't know the numbers of those booths at this point, but I know that they are listed on the website somewhere. Yeah, I am doing the leaves. I have realized though that it seemed like a great idea for me in the very beginning, but these guys in Indonesia, these kids in Indonesia, they're hardcore, and for them, the pennies a piece that they get for these leaves is big money to them in US dollars, or in their money, it's big money. For me, the time and energy to go out and collect leaves here locally, which I can do, to collect them, bring them home, sterilize them, flatten them out, press them, trim them, bag them, it's a lot of time. And unless I'm selling them, I can't really sell them wholesale. Like, I have to sell them straight from a website and get full price for them, or it just doesn't make sense for me to do it, because my time and energy is a lot more valuable than that. You know, like, I can't sell them for 4 to 5 cents a piece. I have to sell these leaves for 50 cents to $1 a piece. I want to sell them less than other people, so people want to buy them from me, and most people sell them for about $1 a piece. So I'm trying to get away with selling them for about 50 to 75 cents a leaf. Just to make up for all the time and energy that it goes into curating them, to collecting them, sterilizing them, pressing them out, and make it flat so that they ship well, and trimming them properly. Weekend Warrior Outdoors, how are you? It's good to see you here in the chat. I'm trying to get outside. I'm working so hard with other stuff and this other side job. I wanted to go out today, but this next weekend, I got to make my way out and collect some indlers, or not lindlers, but wild guppies for a few people. Rack from River Life. I also want to get some to Greg Jones. They've both been asking for some of these wild guppies here from the U.S. Virgin Islands. So I need to go out on a little bit of a fish collecting adventure. I'm looking forward to doing it this next weekend, and go tromp around in the bush in the subtropics here, and go stomp around in the waterways and go find myself a nice little selection of local wild guppies. I'm going to try to send a group of them off to both Rack from River Life and Greg Jones from My Aquarium Box. They've been asking for them for like a year now, but I want to bring them back to the house, do a quarantine process with them, get them nice and clean before they ever even go out to them, because they are coming from the wild. So we'll see how that goes. I do have wild guppies. Let me pull down the chat or move it over so I can see what I'm pointing at. Oh, how'd I move my camera so badly? I didn't realize I was. This tank right here is a paludarium. It's half water, so there's about 7 to 10 gallons of, not even 10 gallons, there's about 7 or 8 gallons of water in that aquarium. And so you have the aquatic space and the terrestrial space. But this tank here does have the local strain of wild guppy that I collected in the wild. These fish have been here in this paludarium for about a year. And I've just let them keep their own colony going. I haven't culled it out. I haven't done anything crazy with that. But that is my my personal colony of local wild guppies that I have here in the house research lab. I'm probably getting close on my 1 hour mark. I'm really happy to see all you guys in here. Like I said before, as my live streams have been like up and down, it's been honestly, there's been some really stressful days trying to play with Streamlabs OBS and getting the settings right. It will happen, but it means so much to me, you know, to have 37 viewers in here right now while I'm streaming and just doing a Google Hangout stream. It means so much to me that you guys take the time to sit here and hang out with me. You guys are my community living on this island here in the Virgin Islands. I don't have any fish clubs. I don't even have really any good fish stores to go to and just geek out and like hang out with the employees and buy fish I shouldn't be buying. Like, I don't have these places. You guys are my community. You guys are my fish keeping family, my community, my network that I go to. So just keep that in mind. It does mean a lot to me to have you guys here, to have you guys hanging out in the stream with me. This is the closest I get to like a fish meetup. It's just the way it is here. I definitely look forward to moving back to the States eventually. I'm you know, it is what it is, but I have to deal with it. Red dirt cichlids, that's another issue. I haven't had the opportunity to really get this fixed, and I've been working so hard on it, but I don't know what's going on. Red dirt cichlids, you're asking me what is up with the top right aquarium looking dark. There is a bacterial bloom in there. That is a tank with yellow King Kong Caridina shrimp. That's the only thing in there is yellow King Kong Caridina shrimp and snails. Now, there was an outbreak of snails at one point in there. There were thousands and thousands of cone snails in there. A local species of cone snail that I collected from the wild here in the Virgin Islands, and I put them in there, and they went insane. It was like an insane outbreak. There were hundreds of them. You turn the lights on, they were all over the glass, like just crazy. Now, all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but since the bacterial bloom that was happening in there, the snails have been disappearing like crazy. Like, there's hardly any snails left in there. So I really, truly feel that the snails have something to do with it. I have noticed that these yellow King Kong Caridina shrimp are super, super aggressive shrimp, and they will attack snails and eat them. So truthfully, at this point, and also seeing how it's been really, really hard for me to kick this bacterial bloom, it's been going on for like 2 months now, and I have done everything. There's a UV light in there. I do 3 water changes a week, not major ones, because everybody says if you do too big of water changes, you won't help it because there's an issue with the nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle needs to be more balanced, and that will kill the bacterial bloom as well. So I've been doing like 15% water changes 3 times a week, not 25 or 50% water changes. I really truly believe it has something to do with the snails. I personally think that the Caridina shrimp are eating the snails, and the dead snails that are half consumed in the bottom of the tank out of my sight, you know, not that you can't see, that they are feeding the bacteria bloom. And I really do think that once the population of snails balances out, or just they're eradicated by the Caridina shrimp, that I won't have that bloom anymore. I'll be able to get that under control. I am not sure, but it has been probably it's been the biggest problem that I've had to deal with in my fish room ever, which I guess that's not so bad. A lot of people have bigger issues and bigger outbreaks of things going on. And obviously it's just contained to that one tank. I don't mix anything. I don't carry anything over to any other tanks as to infect another tank with that bacterial bloom. But it's only in that tank, and it's an ugly eyesore for me. That's for sure. I do have an algae outbreak in the bowface tank too, and that's just from working 2 jobs right now, doing 14 hours. You know I should still be able to do it. There's people like Jeff Rose that's in here. I don't know how you do it. It's awesome, you know, being a single father and have your kids and have your full-time job, and you still make time for your for making videos and stuff like that. Props to you, man, really, because you do a really good job. I just want to say that for the responsibilities that you have, for the life responsibilities, and being a single father and still finding the time to do your live streams every week and to make all the content that you do. Hats off to you. And you know, I have to say you do a really good job with all of the other things that, you know, life responsibilities. And you know, for me, it's just working 14 hours a day and doing construction. I wish I didn't have to do construction, but it just makes me the money that I want right now. But man, like, some days I'm just in so much pain, or just from being sore from work, or just exhausted from being in the hot Caribbean sun all day on a roof, like roofing. I'm beat, man. I don't have time. I don't want to film anything. I'll be completely honest. And it's sad to say that, but when I'm exhausted, like all I want to do is sleep. I want to eat something and pass out. So I definitely am trying to create a more of a balance. Once I finish the second job, once I finish helping my friend with his house and I'm just back to my one job, things will be a little bit more balanced and won't be so bad. But yeah, hats off to you, man, because you put out a lot of good content and you still find time. You have your family, you have your kids to deal with, to take care of, and you get it all done. And just hats off to you, because that's a lot. That's a lot. And you still put out some really awesome content. I'm sure everybody in here is probably subbed to him. You guys are probably all subbed to each other. We're all this. It looks like I got the family up in here. Everybody, I know everybody in here. I don't see any faces or names that I don't know already. What are you saying? Too much coconut? HC Aqua. I haven't fed coconut. It's not coconut, because I only fed coconut to my red cherry shrimp. My Neocaridina shrimp were the only ones that really liked the coconut. The Caridina shrimp don't seem to be too into the coconut. But I'd love to see Jeff Rose try to feed some coconut to his Plecos, but it seems like what would work better for Jeff Rose Plecos is a younger coconut like we get here on the islands here, where it's still kind of like jelly. And that would be probably the right consistency, and I'm sure that they would totally tear it up. But the harder coconut, like completely finished off coconut, where it's a really tougher meat, that would probably take a little while for the Plecos to get that to eat at it. But I'm sure they'd probably tear that up too. Lumpy Dog, what is up? Welcome to the chat. Got Lumpy Dog in the house. Good to see you here. I'm just kind of finishing up. I don't want to go over. It's about 3:06, so I'm kind of over my mark. I'll hang out here for another minute or so, but I don't want to just be rambling on. Just wanted to catch up with you guys, let you guys know that I got a lot of things going on in here between the fish room in my studio space here. I've got a new super fast computer, just dialing in my Streamlabs OBS so that that's going good. My fish room space, I did a super deep clean, so everything is I got extra space for more tanks, which is awesome. And I got rid of a lot of garbage, a lot of stuff that I'm not using in my hobby, or that I just collected, just stuff that is piling up. Just threw it all out. If I haven't touched it or used it in a year, I don't need it. So definitely things are cleaning up. And once I finish this other house with my friend, I'll be back down to having my time to make more content for you guys, and you'll see some more videos. Now, tomorrow I'll be posting my video on EM erythromycin from API, so you can check that out. I am going to do a little bit of a fish room tour here soon, whether my tanks are covered in algae or not. I think I put off doing a fish room tour because you want everything to be like perfect for your fish room tour, but that's just not reality. I think most of us know that it's just not reality. Like every tank is in a different state at a different time. Everything's going through their stuff. And I just need to do the fish room tour, whether or not I have a tank covered in algae or not. Just go with it. It's life. It's an ever-changing thing, these tanks. And they're all their own little ecosystem, and they're all at a different stage doing their own thing. So need to not worry about that. So soon enough, I'll be doing a little bit of a fish room tour. But yes, tomorrow I'll be sharing my my video on erythromycin, which is something I really like to use. Then after that, I'm going to have a video coming out on levamisole, which is an awesome antibacterial that I like. Not antibacterial. I use it to treat for parasites and like worms. It's a really good dewormer. It's actually mostly used as a cow and goat sheep dewormer for livestock, but they do treat humans with it, they treat dogs and cats with it as well. But it's a really great dewormer. So I have a video coming up on that after my erythromycin video, and then I'll be doing something on ICX, and that's just going to complete my series on fish medications that I like to use for quarantining fish and for treating sick and ill fish. So that'll be pretty cool. At this point, I don't sell the wild guppies, but I will give you, as I quarantine them. Who knows how long it'll take, but I'll totally, I could send out a little colony of those wild guppies for sure. Oh yeah, alluring betas. It was my birthday. I didn't even mention that. The 21st was my birthday. The 21st was my birthday, so I did have a pretty good birthday. I got a Chemex for my birthday. If you guys don't know what a Chemex is, if you guys are not, you don't know what that is, it's a really awesome coffee maker. It's, it's similar to a fish. I'm sorry, fish. It's similar to a French press, but it's not a press. Anyways, yeah, well, 30, yeah, I'm not a day older than 40. Yeah, exactly. 39. Thank you so much. Keep the hat on, hide the receding hairline. Anyways, I got a Chemex for my birthday, which is really nice. And I can't wait to do a little montage, do a little piece on my on my Chemex at the beginning of one of my videos. If you guys don't watch Peter McKinnon, which is a really awesome YouTuber, shares a lot of advice and a lot of stuff in regards to cinematography, editing film, and shooting photography. Peter McKinnon loves his coffee, and he always he loves to make these little montages with his Chemex, and that's where I found out about the Chemex, was through Peter McKinnon's videos. So I've always wanted one, so I got one for my birthday. I'll have to say though, it makes some awesome coffee. Like the filters, it's basically all about the filter. The paper filter is like a super awesome paper filter. It filters out everything. Like, so you don't ever have like I like really good coffee, and I like my coffee strong. So with a French press, you're going to end up with like a little bit of sludge or mud at the bottom of your cup of coffee, no matter what. And I really don't like that. I don't want to be ingesting all that, and that kind of is actually not good for you. Those all that extra sludge and stuff like that can get caught up in your liver, your kidneys, and stuff like that when you're filtering it out in your body. Anyways, but it makes for a really awesome cup of coffee. That's like, there's no sludge, there's no silty stuff at the bottom of your cup or in the bottom of the coffee maker. But just taste the difference, honestly, without all that that extra grittiness in your cup of coffee. And I can still make a nice dark cup of coffee. But yeah, the Chemex is awesome. That was my main present that I got for my birthday, and I'm pretty stoked about that. So I've been making a bunch of coffee. I tried it out like as soon as I got it. Like, I went in the kitchen. I didn't care what time of the night it was. I went in the kitchen and had coffee with my birthday cake, and it was good stuff. So let's see. JB Aquatics, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I have to say, got to go with the Chemex. If you ever have a chance, check it out. Anyways, I should get out of here. Still 29 people hanging out in the chat or in the stream viewing this. I really do appreciate all of you that are hanging out here. It means so much to me. I'm not just saying that. Like I said before, you guys are my fish keeping community. I don't have any fish clubs on this island. I don't have any of that. That's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel, was to help me have a fish keeping community. It just doesn't exist here. I've tried to start a fish club, and there's not really any other fish keepers anyways. So either way, I'm on my own here. So you guys are my community. You guys are my fish keeping family. It means a lot to have you guys here hanging out. Really does. David, what's up? Welcome to the chat. I'm on my way out of here. I've been on for about a little over an hour now, so I definitely need to get off this stream. But just thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all of you out there that like, share, and comment on all my content. Thank you, Daryl Dimmer, for that super chat. It means a lot. That goes right back into my YouTube channel. It goes right back into the hobby. You know, it'll go towards my plane tickets to the aquatic experience and paying off this super editing machine that I just got in and all that good stuff. So, and do keep in mind, I do have my Patreon account, which is available as well. You can check that out on Patreon. That's really a really awesome way. That's really the only funding that I have besides Google AdSense, which isn't that much. If any of you guys out there that are YouTube creators, your Google AdSense really isn't going to make you any money at all. So, yeah, my Patreon account really is the best way to support me. So I do appreciate all of you out there that are my Patreons, Daryl Dimmer and everyone else in here that is a Patreon. It means a lot to me having your support there. Keeps things going. You know, keeps the internet rolling here on my end, and helps me buy better equipment and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. Ashley Claire, yes, you did miss it. I'm on my way out of here. Over an hour I've been streaming, so I need to go. But you're gonna keep me talking. Research lab. What event am I talking about? It is the Aquatic Experience, which takes place every year. This year it'll be in New Jersey. Last year it was in Chicago. You can check it out on their website, the Aquatic Experience. I don't know if it's like the aquaticexperience.com, but you can look it up, Aquatic Experience 2018 in New Jersey. It is a super awesome, it's probably one of the best aquatic or fish keeping conventions annually in the United States. There's some other ones that are coming up that are pretty cool. There's been some new ones. The newest one this year, I'm trying to think of the name of it even. First year of it this year, and that was pretty awesome as well. There's a lot of other different aspects to it, including art and things like that. But the Aquatic Experience is really awesome, especially for the YouTuber, the YouTube community. Oh, I lost my video. I just lost my video, but I bet you I still have my audio. My camera died. Obviously, I don't get any more than an hour on my battery for my camera. Let me check this out. Let me see if I can hurry up and change it. But the Aquatic Experience is awesome. I had a ball with it last year. If you're a YouTuber and you're interested in catching up with the rest of the YouTube community in the fish keeping niche, going to the Aquatic Experience is definitely a must eventually if you can get there. It's pretty epic. There's a lot of saltwater going on there, but there's also a lot of freshwater and a lot of YouTubers. So another battery. So that was the test there. My Sony A6500 gets about an hour and 17 minutes out of the battery as a webcam. That's not bad. I did purchase, and it's on the way here already. It's been shipped out from Amazon's headquarters. I have a fake battery or whatnot. You know, I plug it into the wall and pop the battery in, and to give me. So once that's here, I won't have to play this battery game. I will have permanent power on my A6500. Just got to make sure it doesn't overheat. Keep that pop-out screen out so that the whole thing can breathe. But once I have that, I won't be playing this game with popping out batteries. But that was a test because this is really the first time that I've used my A6500 as a webcam. So it's I do get an hour out of it. So if I kept my stream an hour, I could get away with a battery on it. But either way, yeah, Aquashella, Daryl Dermer was mentioning that. Aquashella is, I did not go this year. It was in Chicago this year. And Aquashella is kind of replacing the Aquatic Experience in Chicago. And I was told that it was awesome. I have had people tell me that Aquashella was better than the Aquatic Experience when it comes to just the size and the amount of vendors and just the experience, the incorporation of art and music and stuff like that as well. For me, I'm a nerd. Like, I don't care about some. I mean, not that I don't care about art, but like the art and the music and stuff like that. There was like DJs and just like this black light room with everything. And I was like, to me, visually watching YouTube videos, I was like, I don't care about any of that. Like, I'm a nerd. I want to see the fish. I want to know about the fish. I want fish. It's about fish to me. So I don't know. I have to go check it out for myself before I can talk about it. So next year I will be at Aquashella. We'll see how that goes. To see if I have enough money to do Peru, Aquashella, and the aquatic experience, which is my plan this next year. That's not bad. $40 plane ticket can't be too bad. My tickets are about $300 from the Virgin Islands to New Jersey. It's just a one straight flight, luckily. But yes, the aquatic experience, that's what you're getting me on. Research lab. The aquatic experience is an awesome event. Especially, it's still probably the best one for YouTubers when it comes to all of the conventions in the United States. There's going to be a huge amount of YouTubers there. You really get to meet a lot of the other great YouTubers and up and coming YouTubers in the fish keeping niche. We make a big scene. We made a big scene last year. There'll be a mob of us, to be completely honest. And it's also nice. I don't know how we're gonna be able to do it because it just the group of YouTubers has grown every year. I don't know how we're gonna make it work, but we plan on doing some dinners. We would go out and hang out and just like, Corey, Rob from Flip Aquatics, Bob Steamfot, all of us are just like a huge crowd. And a lot of other fans would tag along, and it'd just be this crazy scene in any restaurant that we went to. We would just we take over the restaurant. And the amount that were there last year, it seems like there's going to be more this year. And I don't know how we're going to handle it, like going to a restaurant to eat out at night, but we'll figure it out. We really kind of need to make some reservations and buy out a restaurant or something, I'm afraid. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a fun experience, and you get to meet a lot of really cool people. It'll be a chance for me to get some really cool interviews I did not get last year. But it'll be fun. If you can make it to the aquatic experience in New Jersey, I say go. You won't be disappointed, and it's just something to do at least once. Some people say, oh, you just need to do it once and you'll be fine. I don't know. It's a great annual event. It's something I look forward to every year at this point. I got to get out of here. I've been streaming over my hour. I'm about to hit an hour and a half. I really do like to keep it an hour just for the analytics and whatnot. I got 30 people in here viewing. So awesome to see you guys in here. Really appreciate your support. It means so much to me. Like I said, you guys are my community. You guys are my fish club. You guys are my fish club. Being on this little rock, I don't have much else. So I really do appreciate all of your support and enjoy you guys hanging out. So thank you, JB. Yeah, I got a different camera, so it is better. It is better. I'm working with my Sony A6500 as my webcam, so that is nice. But once I get to going with my Streamlabs OBS, I will personally be happier. Get away from Google Hangouts, and I also just get to make my own thumbnail. Like doing this, you guys get my channel banner as my thumbnail, and I want to make a custom thumbnail for each one of my events, and the only way that I can do that before the stream happens is if it's an actual event with like an encoder, like XSplit or Streamlabs OBS, something like that. So it's just so much more professional that way. So we'll get there. D, thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate that you appreciate it. And I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I got some water changes to do. I got water being made in the kitchen. I'm sure the water level is getting high, and I don't have the water alarm on it, so I gotta go check that out so I don't have a flood in my kitchen. But thank you guys for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all of your support. It means the world to me. No joke. Not just saying that. If you're not subscribed to my content, you like it, you want to see more of it, you know, you can go ahead and click on that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit that bell icon for all notifications. And remember, guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.